Thank you, Sandy. Macular degeneration can be a bummer. It doesn't really have to be. It doesn't need to be. I know I have macular degeneration, the wet kind. When I'm asked, when I'm having my eyes examined, and the person says to me, well, now just read as much as you can on the eye chart, start with a big E. Eye chart? What eye chart? I don't see any eye chart. But by holding my head very still and moving my eyes around like a big clock, 12, 3, 6, 9, somewhere in my field of vision, that big E will pop into view. So I probably have a little more eyesight than I first thought. But when this first happened to me, I was scared to death. How was I ever going to manage? I'm a widow. I live alone. I have 5 wonderful children, and would you know, not one of them lives within 2 hours of where I live? Who's going to read my mail? How am I going to write a check? How am I going to do my shopping? Well, the world got pretty darn gloomy. Well, I'm a religious person. I pray a lot. And I said, God, you got to help me. Please, God, I can't deal with this all by myself. Show me how to live with this affliction. And that prayer was answered immediately. And in this way, the thought that popped into my brain, no problem in life is ever solved with negative thinking. I had to stop thinking I can't and I'll never be able to, and start thinking, well, maybe I couldn't do this or that the way I used to, but there must be a way. Now, what is the way? You'll be surprised the things you can think of. And once I started thinking, how can I, instead of I can't, my whole outlook on life changed. This was a challenge. And by gum, I was going to figure it out. And I can tell you truthfully today, there are only 2 things that I can no longer do that I would love to do. One is drive a car, at least not safely. But I certainly get places. As Dr. Brooker told you, I travel all over the United States, and frequently all by myself. If you're able to travel, don't be afraid to go alone. It's not a big problem. The other thing is I can no longer curl up comfortably with a good book or read in bed. Now that doesn't mean I don't get information from a printed page. I certainly do. I do it with the aid of a CCTV, which is commonly called a reading machine, with a computer program that talks to me, and of course with audio books. But what was the first challenge I really had to face? Well, I have to tell you, I was born with my share of feminine vanity, and I like to look nice. It's important to me. How on earth was I ever going to put my makeup on and fix my hair when I couldn't see myself in the mirror anymore? Now there's a problem. Well, I got to thinking, we have a sense of touch all over our bodies. I have a sense of touch in my face. I've been feeling it ever since I was old enough to wash it myself, but I never thought about it. So by using the sense of touch in my face, I figured I mastered that. At least I hope I did. And by using the sense of touch in my scalp and in my hands, I figured out the hair problem. Now, women aren't the only ones with grooming problems. Men have problems too. Many men have had trouble shaving, and I've taught them how. Some men have trouble parting their hair, assuming they have some hair to part. And the other one that I'm going to mention, and I'm going to close because I have to keep this brief, is social. What do you do when somebody comes up to you and says, "Hi, I haven't seen you in a long time. How are you?" You haven't a clue who this person is. Now, we all suffer from I never forget a face, but I can't remember name syndrome. I mean, most people do. Well, the best way to cope with that one is just to look the person in the eye, or where you think their eye is, and say, you know, I have macular degeneration and I don't see very well. Please tell me, who are you? Well, some people fall all over you with sympathy, and some people say, oh, Mary Betty, I forgot, You don't act blind, you don't look blind, and I just forget. So that's fine with me. But there's a fringe benefit to all of this. From now on, you never have to worry about remembering names. There are still people in this world who never heard of macular degeneration. Like the lady that said, macular degeneration? I thought that was a Catholic girls' school. Well, it isn't, as we all know. But I do want to leave you with these two thoughts. One is this: adversity comes to everyone in life, and we who are older have an obligation, an opportunity really, and an obligation to show those who come after us how to cope with adversity. Not by what we say, but by what we do, how we live our lives. And the other bit of advice, and I learned this from a daughter of a man who was a physician during the Great Depression years, before antibiotics and modern medicine. And he used to tell all of his patients this: smile. It doesn't hurt a bit, and it won't cost you a penny. So smile. Thank you very much.